Kino. Welcome to another video. So today I want to talk about something that I think is really important, and that is how to listen to your intuition. If you're new here, hello, I'm Kino. I'm primarily a tarot reader on this channel. I make pick a card videos, so if you like those, feel free to check them out. I also make music, which is what you heard at the beginning of this video. My song Listen to Me Cry is on all streaming platforms, so if you feel like checking that out too, I would really appreciate it. This video might be kind of long, so if you're the type of person who likes to skip forward to the information that you want, I'll leave timestamps for you in a pinned comment. However, I would love if you stick around to watch the whole thing, so let me know if you do. Okay. So in addition to pick a card readings, I also do personal readings, and after reading for hundreds of people, I found that something that a lot of us have in common, and that includes me, is struggling to follow our intuition, or struggling to know what messages are truly coming from our intuition. And this is especially true if the message that we're getting is that something good is going to happen, that we're going to get what we want. A lot of us have a really hard time trusting that our intuition is telling us something good. We're worried that it's all in our head. We're worried that we're being delusional or that we're wishful thinking. And I guess the reason for this doubt is that, it's usually something that we've wanted for quite some time and it's just not manifesting. We're setting our intention, we're wishing for it, we're hoping for it, we're seeing the signs, and yet it's not here. So we think like, okay, something isn't adding up. If these signs are actually signs, where is the manifestation? So we start to ask ourselves if it's really okay to keep believing and keep trusting the messages. So that's going to be what this video is about today. How to tell which messages are from your intuition and which messages are from your wishful thinking. So I want to define both of these terms first. Intuition refers to messages that you receive from your higher self or from your divine team, and that's your guides, your angels, your ancestors, and so on. Intuition is designed to keep you safe and to keep you on the right path. And when I say the right path, I mean the path that's going to lead you to your joy, the path that you decided on before you came into this life. You may get intuitive messages as a feeling, as an inner feeling, as a deep knowing that something is true, or even as a clear voice speaking in your head. You can also get intuitive messages through signs in the outside world, like for example, hearing a lyric in a song and just knowing deep down that that song has a message for you. That's your intuition. As for wishful thinking, I guess how most people would define it is that like deep down you know something is not true, but you really want it to be, so you keep telling yourself that it is true. You keep trying to convince yourself that something's gonna happen. And I guess the concern that a lot of us have is that we're doing this without realizing, so we want to make sure that we're not just wishful thinking and wasting our time hoping for something that really isn't going anywhere. So I personally don't really agree with this definition of wishful thinking. If you're in the spiritual community, you've probably learned about manifestation, and that is the idea that our world, our reality, our experiences are a direct product of the thoughts that we put out. Basically, whatever we focus on is going to manifest in our reality. And we're always manifesting whether it is conscious or not. So the idea is with conscious manifestation, we can intentionally create the reality that we want by focusing on what we want. And this is something I personally believe to be true. So the way that I see it, conscious manifestation is literally changing your reality with wishful thinking. But for some reason, we only use this term wishful thinking to describe things that are not going to happen. So I guess it's just a slight difference, but rather than defining wishful thinking as something you want but it's not going to happen, I would probably define it as something you want but you don't really believe in it. It's like a self-fulfilling prophecy. Like you are the one who is making this thing wishful thinking with your disbelief. In fact, your intuition may be telling you that this very thing you think you're wishful thinking about is true. Sometimes you just can't tell because your subconscious mind is blocking it. So let me show you this pencil that I broke a while ago to illustrate how this works. Okay, so here's my broken pencil. I broke it once on accident, and then I broke it again on purpose when I had this idea because I wanted to do this. So let's say that each part of the broken pencil represents different parts of your mind. Like they come together to make a whole cohesive thing, but they're also different distinct parts. Now I'm sure our mind is actually a lot more complicated than this, but just for the sake to make this example easy, this is how I have broken it up. So we have your intuition here, and then your subconscious mind here, and your conscious mind here. And as you can see, things that manifest into your life come from your subconscious thoughts or your subconscious beliefs. So this is kind of the most important part when it comes to manifesting your desired outcome into your life. You need to believe it subconsciously. So when we say that we're wishful thinking about something, what it really means is that we want something, but our subconscious mind doesn't believe it to be true, and not necessarily that our intuition is telling us it's not true. So anyway, if someone's mind looks like this, then they would be completely in alignment. Like it's a complete straight line here. They would always hear their intuition. They would always believe the messages that they receive from their intuition, and they would have absolutely no problem manifesting anything. But of course, hardly anybody's mind looks like this. As most of us go through life, we experience disappointments, we experience moments of self-doubt, of things not turning out the way we thought they would. And so these parts of the mind start to go out of alignment, and they could be like at varying degrees. Maybe they're a little bit off like this, or maybe they're completely off. But again, just to make this example simple, let's say like it is either in alignment or not in alignment, like this. Okay, so for an example, let's say that you really want to be in a relationship, and your intuition here is trying to send you confirming messages that you are worthy of love and it will come to you. But subconsciously, you don't really believe this. Maybe you have been hurt in the past, or you have been waiting for a really long time. And so this goes out of alignment because this does not believe what the intuition is saying. So as you can see, your intuition and your conscious mind are actually on the same page because you want a relationship and your intuition is telling you that you're ready for one. But your subconscious mind is drowning out this inner voice that tells you you're worthy of love, and as a result, it cannot manifest. So what will happen is you'll either remain single, or you'll end up in a relationship where you just get hurt all over again. And at this point, you might conclude that you were just wishful thinking. Or you can use your conscious thoughts to reprogram your subconscious mind through things like healing, through visualizations, through positive affirmations, through practicing self-love, so that it becomes receptive to the messages from your intuition again. So it goes back in alignment. And now when your intuition speaks, your subconscious mind listens, it believes. Now you truly believe what your intuition is telling you, and you're able to manifest the relationship that you want. So what about cases where your wishful thinking actually is out of alignment with your intuition? This would mean that your subconscious mind is receiving messages from your intuition, but your conscious mind is not having it. So let's use a similar example and say that you really want your ex to reach out to you. But your intuition is telling you that moving on is what will make you the most happy, because at the end of the day, you just have too many differences with this person. And your subconscious also really believes that. So it accepts what your intuition is saying right away. And so as a result, you find yourself frustrated because you keep wishing to hear from them and you keep getting disappointment because your subconscious is not in alignment with what you consciously want. And in this case, you might also conclude that you are wishful thinking. So now you can still do what you did in the last example, reprogram your subconscious, you can align this, and you can manifest your ex coming back. You can do this. You can do whatever you want, really, but you would be going against your higher self, which means that yes, you can manifest this outcome. However, it's probably not what is going to make you happy. It's not going to make you as happy as you thought it would. So what we really want to do is learn how to make this pencil straight. We want to know, how can I tell if what I want is really in alignment with my intuition and it's just a matter of changing my beliefs? Or how can I tell if what I want is out of alignment with my intuition and I should maybe consider moving on and finding a path that will bring me more happiness? In order to do this, we need to learn how to distinguish messages from our intuition with messages from our ego. So as we talked about before, the goal of your intuition is to lead you down the path that will make you the happiest and the most fulfilled, and it's used by your higher self and your divine team to communicate with you. As for your ego, its goal is to maintain the status quo, sort of keep you feeling how you're used to, because your ego is really only focused with self-preservation and maintaining who it has decided you are, like maintaining that identity. So your ego doesn't really like, going out of the box, going out of your comfort zone. So we are constantly getting tons of messages from both our intuition and our ego. I feel like you can never really turn either of them off throughout the day. They're just like constantly talking. But another thing that I've realized from doing a lot of personal readings is that most people are a lot more in tune with their intuition than they think they are. Of course, there are some exceptions, but I found that a lot of the time through my personal readings, I'm just, giving that extra confirmation or that extra reassurance of something that the person already knows to be true within their soul. A blessing that they know is coming to them, or a dream they know is going to be realized, a connection that they know exists with another person. I think what happens to most of us is that our intuition gives us a message, like that something really wonderful is going to happen, like go for it, pursue your dream job, pursue your dream career, you're going to be so successful. We hear that message and then we start imagining the success and the abundance and the freedom, and we get super happy and excited. And then our ego kicks in. Your ego examines this message and says, do you even know how to make this happen? Do you even know if you're skilled enough? What if you fail? What if you waste years of your life? This is dangerous, don't do it, don't be silly. And then you end up either not going for it, or the first sign of a setback, you're like, oh my gosh, I knew it, I knew this wasn't meant for me, I knew I was delusional. And your higher self is over here like... So here's how you tell the difference. First of all, pay attention to the way the messages are coming. Messages from your intuition are always loving. Your intuition never judges or puts down you or anybody else. And I think with the exception of those gut feelings that you get like when you're in danger and you need to get out of somewhere, your intuition feels good. A good way to identify messages from your intuition would be to ask yourself if you can imagine an angel talking to you like that. So if you heard a voice in your head like, you're not smart enough to get into that school, that's not your intuition. Also remember that your guides and your angels are extremely respectful of your free will. So messages from your intuition are very gentle by nature. They never feel like forceful or urgent or desperate. So they probably wouldn't say things like you have to do this or you can't do this. You're not supposed to do this. So I'm going to use an example of trying to figure out if someone is your twin flame, because that is a question that I often get in readings, and I think it's a big one that a lot of us deal with. If your intuition was telling you that someone is not your twin flame, the message would be something like, you deserve all the love in the world, you deserve someone who chooses you first, someone who reciprocates, and this person is not that. There's someone out there who is so much better for you, who can make you so happy. This connection has stressed you out a lot, but it's time to put that burden down and free yourself. Something like that, I don't know. Your intuition would not say something like, you're a dumb, delusional ass bitch, this person does not care about you. On the flip side, if your intuition was telling you someone is your twin flame, your intuition might say something like, can't you see all the signs around you? Just look around, this is your person. Everything will come together soon, just hang in there. You're growing and learning so much from this journey. If you're thinking things like, this has to be your twin, you cannot let go of this person, no one will ever love you like this person, if you walk away from this connection, you'll never find somebody who makes you feel the same. That's your ego. Now, you can receive messages from both your intuition and your ego about the same thing, which can get a little confusing. So you have to kind of weed out those nasty voices without throwing the baby out. Another thing that I found personally is that my intuition is almost always the first thing that comes to my mind when I think about the situation or the person in question. That's because your intuition is like a pure and immediate expression. It doesn't care about being realistic or logical or what you're used to. or any of that. It's your ego that likes to analyze and assess things and put things in boxes. So you want to try to catch the thought that comes into your mind before your ego has a chance to mess with it. Maybe you can ask your friend to do like, what is it? Like rapid fire question. So you can spot your intuition. Your ego won't even have time to answer. She'll be like, wait, I wasn't ready. I've also found that my intuition comes through a lot in that window where I'm not really awake and I'm not really asleep either. So like either right before I fall asleep or right when I wake up in the morning. She said wake up in the morning, more like 3 p.m. bitch. You know, I'll be like drifting off, not really aware of my thoughts, when all of a sudden some really clear message comes through. And I kind of like wake up, like what was that? I'll just get this really vivid message and I can like physically feel it in my gut. This by no means happens every day. I think I'm like most people, like most of my thoughts when I'm drifting off to sleep are completely random. Most of my dreams don't really make sense. So I've been practicing lately to, you know, bring this on deliberately, to try to get messages from my intuition when I'm in that, you know, kind of half sleepy state. Sometimes I'll think of a specific question I want answered, and other times I'll just kind of, you know, set my thoughts on the person or the situation in question and just, you know, let whatever messages want to come to me. And it's been working pretty well. Last night I had a dream that I got arrested for littering a lollipop, but you know, sometimes a message comes through. Yeah, sometimes I will get the answer in a dream. It may not happen the first time you do it, and it may not happen every time, but don't give up. And remember, these messages will be loving and gentle. If you have one of these thoughts, if you can remember to like get up and write it down, like as soon as you have it, apparently it helps you to remember them more often and even to have like lucid experiences. And my next point is actually about writing as well. Automatic writing. So automatic writing is another way that you can get messages from your intuition. It's the process of just writing stuff down without thinking, like just putting the pencil to the paper and letting it flow. A lot of people channel messages from the divine this way, and you can set a specific intention of what you want to figure out before writing, or you can just write and see what comes out. And you can even automatic type if you can't be bothered to write. I personally am not that good at automatic writing because I just feel like it's too easy to stop my hand, you know? Like it's too easy to hesitate and stop writing. So I prefer to do automatic speaking. Like I'll just straight up talk to myself when I have a question without really thinking about what is even coming out of my mouth. And for some reason it works better for me when I'm looking in the mirror. I will just stand in front of the mirror and just start talking. And the next thing I know, I'm performing a whole ass monologue. And all my questions are answered. It's really very interesting. So your intuition is just like a muscle. When you have muscles in your body that you don't really use that often, it's very hard to activate them, and hence it is hard to exercise them and make them stronger. But little by little, those muscles will get used to working, and then you can make them stronger. And your intuition is the same. So be patient with her. She's doing her best. Okay, so that is the extent of my knowledge on this topic for now. Thank you very, very much for watching. I hope that you found some useful information in there. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe if you feel like doing that, and check out my tarot videos. And if you feel like checking out my music as well, I would be so appreciative. Have a wonderful day or night whenever you're watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye bye!